Welcome back to another all-new episode of Texas Boys Outdoors. Pretty cool show planned for you guys. We're going to hop the state line, head to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and fish Lake Calcasieu with a couple Gulf Coast legends and good friends of ours. Have a couple special guests going to join us. Then we'll switch it up, head down south to Baffin Bay with our friends from Baffin Bay Rod Gun, Captain Sally. Get out, do some wade fishing, get it done Texas Boy style. Let's get going. Strike me first clown. That's really cool. Texas Boys Outdoors, all about giving back to our heroes and showing kids the beauty of the great Texas outdoors. So I've really been looking forward to this one. You know, it's always a good time getting over there and fishing Lake Calcasieu, Louisiana, with our good friend Captain Bruce Ball and Paul Brown. These guys really are Gulf Coast legends. Both are also United States military veterans, just top-notch guys and good friends of mine. Gonna get it done on day one. We're gonna do a little pre-fishing. We have some East Texas police officers coming tomorrow, but first off, we're gonna do some scouting, and I'm never gonna turn down a chance to fish with Bruce, so let's get out, try to find some fish, and get it done. Good morning. We're here in Lake Calcasieu, Louisiana, and like Mr. Captain Bruce Ball and I were talking just then, we've had just a ton of rain the last few weeks, so a lot of this bay is going to be fresh. We're going to get out here and see if we can find some decent water and see if we can get a few speckled trout. We got our buddies and a couple guys that know quite a bit about fishing the Gulf Coast, Mr. Paul Brown too, Captain Bruce Ball. Going to get out here and see if we can get it done. You guys stay with us.
Good. Sunday what?
Nice and warm, huh?
Young is.
It is a good hard sand bottom, that's good. So our first spot was a little slow. Got everything back in the boat. We're gonna hit spot number 2 and boom, right off the bat, first cast, pick a good trout.
First cast.
That's a kiss of death.
I don't know if it might be the only thing I catch for 4 hours.
First cast.
First spot was just completely dead. Like Bruce said, you still want to get out and try. Second spot where you had a little more confidence pulling up with all the bait. And start off with a speckled trout. Not a giant, but Lake Calcasieu trout. We're on the board. First cast with my old Strike King topwater. Sick a pretty solid trout. Getting pumped up. I think it's going to be a good start, but all of a sudden, every now and then, you never know what's going to happen, and sometimes some things can slow you down.
No, dude.
I knew. I tried to jerk it, and I was like, no. I thought he was going to turn around real fast, but he didn't turn around. Oh.
Come over here.
Well, we had caught a trout on my first cast. About 5 minutes later, Paul caught one, and then lo and behold, I had a Calcasieu pelican whack my topwater and ate it. We got it out of his mouth, but now it's hooked on his foot, so. Now you got it.
One more.
That's getting it done Texas boy style. Holy crap. He doesn't know, but we just saved his life.
There he goes. Go back to Rabbit Island.
Adios, bud. I'll go whack Bruce's
No,
topwater.
no. Get out of here, bird.
He's a little tired.
Good job. Dude, I wasn't expecting to start our day like that.
Actually, first came to Calcasieu probably in the mid-90s. Came here because of Trout Masters fishing tournament circuit that Captain Mickey Eastman put together. I think the first year was like '96. And we came here a year or two after that. And Actually, we came Sabine Lake about the year or two before that, and I remember back in those days they said, well, you could not wade Sabine Lake because it was too much mud. But we went over there and proved that theory wrong, and we caught a lot of big trout. Yeah, a lot of big trout there on Sabine, and then Sabine and Calcasieu were very similar. Matter of fact, some people call them sister lakes, or actually, it's a saltwater estuary. We call them lakes, but they're actually bays. And we came here the year after that, and nobody waded. Back in those days, if you saw anybody wading,
Oh, we got one.
Paul's got one.
It's Steve Brown lure.
Oh, there you go. Old Steve's lures.
That's that little peanut that Steve give me. Only gives me one.
I heard you say something.
That's how you do an interview. Why? He's got a trout reeled in behind him.
You gonna keep a couple for eat? Okay. Not bad.
So Paul, this lure that you're throwing, is it a new color that your son made, or?
Steve has a new color daily. And this is one of them. Yeah, he makes, I'll show it to you. This is a new flash bait he makes. A lot of sparkle. That's on the top.
Now I caught this on a lily.
Uh-oh.
A Bob Hardy.
A Bob Hardy's bait.
Barbolita. Bob Hardy is that's a little male out here in grunting. That's a grunting male, a little bitty one. That's how you can tell the species. The females do not grunt. They're grunting.
Got a couple nice ones on the Strike King topwater plug. They're hitting it pretty hard too. The bigger one I think kind of slurped it like Bruce was saying, but these two just hammered it. Of course, now I got a big one that got away story. You can't fish a day without having one of those, and now I got one. Hit it and started peeling drag and then just came unbuttoned just like that. Good time out here today. We found our first spot. The water was a little fresh, so we kind of had about 30-45 minutes, figured it out there. But then Bruce took it to spot number 2 and started catching them pretty good. I knew it might be bad luck for me. I think it was my first cast at the second spot, so that usually ruins you for the day, but bounced back, caught a few more. Paul caught some good. Just had a great time. Gonna get out here tomorrow with a couple of special guests and try to get it done again. Always fun fishing with a couple guys that I think you just learn from and enjoy fishing with the whole time, so it's just appreciate these guys getting us out. Captain Bruce Ball, if you want to fish Lake Calcasieu, give him a holler.
Yeah, had a good day today. We'll try it again tomorrow.
Had a really good time out there on day 1, doing a little pre-fishing before our guests arrived, and nothing but respect on my end. Mr. Paul Brown out there at 86 years old, wade fishing, getting it done, throwing topwaters and Steve Brown lures. Pretty cool watching him get out there and do it. We're gonna have a chance to sit down with these two legends, do a little table talk. Let's have some fun. You guys enjoy it. We're here on the bayou in Louisiana with our good friends, Captain Bruce Ball and Mr. Paul Brown. Had a good time fishing out there today, and a lot of you guys know these guys have been fishing the Gulf Coast. There's probably about 150 years of fishing between these two guys, just outstanding fishermen. You know, I think they both kind of started off in the Galveston area and kind of moved over here slowly, so just, you know, experts in a lot of different bait systems. And Paul Brown, as mentioned, you were the creator, the founder of the Corky lure, which if you're a speckled trout fisherman in Texas, you know the Corky, it's caught more big trout than anything out there, even live bait I think sometimes. So just a phenomenal lure we've used for quite a long time now. And Matt, our DJ Matt Holder, our producer over here, had a few questions we're going to ask you, so we'll go ahead and get started with question number 1. Is what was the initial thought that made you say, I'm going to start making lures?
Bill Norton and myself, he was a controller, threw away my bait box and got me over to these feather jigs, which I have one in the shop. And that's what we were using till Boone Telltale. Then we cloned a tout tail out of her slip from the ceramic business, you know. So now we've got a mold of 6 we can pour by hand. It wasn't my idea. Like most of this is like Bruce and his broken back, and I bet you I got 10 to 15 guys that owns half of those ideas. It wasn't
just influence
one
and
guy.
help kind of
just
shape it.
data coming in.
Coming down here and going in his shop and watching him bend wires and listen to everybody puts in a little bit about what he needs to do to make the lure work better, make it sink better, to make it be more buoyant, suspend better. And he sits back here and he figures it out. Not by himself, but he listens to everybody.
I think I've been fishing with Captain Bruce and Paul for about 5 or 6 years now. You'll meet just a finer group of guys that are just outstanding. Not only top-notch fishermen, but even better guys off the water. So we're very blessed with Texas boys to get to know these guys and have them a part of the show at least once a season. Thank you, Matt, for providing some outstanding questions, and thank you again, Bruce, for getting us out.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Paul Brown, appreciate it.
Thank you.
And,
Enjoyed it.
So I had a good first day. Now it's time for day 2. We're going to get up, have a couple of really special guests from East Texas, police officers from the Beaumont Police Department. These guys said they would be willing to wade fish. We're going to hop out. I think we're going to be on some fish, so let's try to get it done Texas boy style. Good morning, we're pulling up to spot number 1. We should have some, we were joking around, some either good Jesus or good karma or something because we helped some guys out on the way out here. So if you're gonna get delayed a few minutes, that's a good reason to do it. So gonna get out here right at daylight, gonna throw some top waters and probably some corkies and some other stuff and see if we can get it done with our police officers from Beaumont, Texas. Gonna get it done Texas boy style. You guys stay with us.
What we're gonna do is probably walk out here, right past that little grass point, just kind of just spread out right there and kind of post up there, and we'll all start throwing downwind. It's always easier to cast with the wind.
Oh. And you said, Bruce, was that he can kind of cast it and reel it and just every now and then maybe change the retrieve speed, but otherwise just kind of cast it.
Buddy.
He's on right here.
We have to have Bruce do interviews every 10 minutes because somebody else catches. Oh, I got one.
Oh, look at a double hook up. Double hook up. Look at that. It's a little male, a little grunting male. We'll turn this one loose.
Thank you, thank you.
It's another one.
So as we're leaving spot number 1 to head to spot number 2, getting close to a shoreline over there, we saw a bunch of birds working, both pelicans, seagulls. You never know what's going to happen under those birds, so it's always worth pulling up, throwing out a few lines, and seeing what's biting.
Make it easier when you reel them in. Leave out about maybe 6 feet of line and throw them in. It's easier. When you get them, just flip them in real quick. We'll see how long he is. He is legal. How long they have to be? 12 inches. Almost 13. Perfect.
Cool. Nice.
That's a trout.
Keep on reeling. He's staying on? Yeah, he's on. Just keep it right up and reel. There you go. Nice.
Now you climb in the
boat. Oh, that's a good trout. Good trout. Flip it up. Flip it up.
Get him in the boat.
Nice. Nice. That's a good eating. That's perfect size right there. Dude, and then spit it out. Nice job, man.
That's a perfect.
Good job.
Thank you. Perfect.
Good job. He's hooked up. There he is.
There he is. Fish on.
Nice job.
Double.
Doubled up. On trout, too. That's a keeper. Nice job, man.
Oh, here we go.
Tripled up. Tripled up. That's awesome, guys.
Oh, Eric. Eric, this is about 25 pounds. God, doggy.
That's the keeper. That's a good one, too. Nice. Check it out.
Gas cap.
The gaff top.
Oh, no, that's a trout. Trout.
Came to the top. That's a nice trout.
Trout,
Good
dog.
Good trout.
Trout, Roy.
Trout.
Roy boy, 42.
Nice trout. Yeah, that's a good one for birds, especially.
Flip it.
Flip it.
Yeah, you're good. Got another
Hell
keeper.
yeah, y'all.
Nice job, Matt. Yep.
Look at the spots on it.
That's a pretty one. That'd be a good one for a
stick and
picture.
holder.
He got some specs. Look at the specs.
Spicy pumpkin. Yeah, that is a cool looking trout.
Appreciate you, Michael Bossy. Galveston Bay special, but it works anywhere.
Yeah, even the
yeah.
Calcasieu. Had fun chasing those birds for a few minutes, and Bruce had a spot he said he's been catching a lot of flounder at, so we're gonna hop out, see if we can get a couple flounder, see if the boys can get it done on a flatty.
Oh, it's a flounder.
Good flounder?
Yeah, he's back over the
Swing it to Matt, or swing it towards me and I'll help you get it off. Just let him fight, let the rod do the work and just kind of drag him.
Just don't pull too hard. Nice flounder, y'all.
Nice. Bring it up a little bit, let's see it. Got it. Nice job. Doing the camera and getting it on video.
Is that a keeper?
Teamwork. I think he's gonna be right at 14. I think 14 or 15. Oh, well, it's a keeper. He's probably right at a keeper anyway. Good job, man.
You hear that, Eric? 33 inches.
He's about 19. He always had about 5 inches.
Oh, yeah, yeah, easily.
Nice job. First flounder of the day.
First flounder.
Big black drum.
Hey, I caught a black drum, Bobby.
All right.
Nice. No way.
Oh, wait, it's a what?
Wow. So while we're on the shoreline chasing trout and flounder, we realized another big group of birds working a few hundred yards off the shoreline. Decided we're gonna pack up, go out there and see what's biting on them, and lo and behold, it's a bunch of solid trout, including one trout that decided he's gonna splash the camera a little bit, but action was too good to not show you guys, so check it out. Bruce will show y'all where they're at. Yep, like I said. All right, the question is if it's trout or gaff top. Oh, doubled up. Nice job, guys. Keep it up. There you go. Nice.
Want to get that nail?
Hold on. It's right there, right in front of Matt. There you go. Good job. Nice job, man. Matt's somewhere. My hands in that and frozen. Good job, man. That's a nice trout right there.
Thank you.
Doubled up. I'm behind y'all, so don't forget to hook. Oh,
I think it's a trout.
Nice, man.
Look at this one.
Dude, that's a good one, too. That's a 20-inch trout under the birds. Had just an amazing time over there in Lake Charles fishing Calcasieu. Thanks to Paul Brown, Captain Bruce Ball. Always a good time and really enjoyed fishing with you guys. And a shout out to our buddies Bobby and Eric with the Beaumont Police Department. Those guys got it done all day long, took them a bunch of fish, so appreciate their guys' service, and you guys stay safe out there. We're gonna switch it up, and now we're gonna head down south to Baffin Bay with our good friend Captain Sally over at Baffin Bay Rod Gun. Always appreciate Sally, been fishing with her for several years now. Always a good time there at the Top Notch Lodge. You guys check out a few highlights from our Baffin Bay trip.
Good morning, Texas Boys Outdoors. This is Captain Sally Black from Baffin Bay Rod Gun. I've got my buds right here with me, and we are going to step out on this big giant rock ledge and throw some topwaters right here before the sun comes up, and it should be pretty dang nice.
Awesome.
Baffin Bay Rod Gun. Boom.
We got Andy. Andy's all business this morning.
Let's do this.
He says there's no points for second place, fellas. Looks like Board President Josh Peterson's hooked up. Nice trout. Very nice trout, Josh. Good job, dude.
I'm out here at Baffin Bay with Baffin Bay Rod Gun, and they say there's good trout out here, and they're right.
Nice one. Beautiful fish. That's your biggest trout ever, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He's caught a bunch of Louisiana trout, but I don't know if they were that big. So you got a good sized Texas trout.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
one.
true. That's true.
Good job. Nice. Look, dude, slot red. Cool. Good job, Andy.
Out here earlier today, decided to swap out my down south lure for a topwater, and this is the result.
Yeah.
Out here at Baffin Bay.
Good looking redfish. Boy, you ate the heck out of that thing.
He sure did.
Yeah, he was hungry. That's nice. That's about a 22-inch red. Good looking redfish.
There we go.
All right. As she's telling me about a big flounder that got away, Sally's hooked up with a pretty solid fish.
It's a redfish.
A little pool.
Yeah.
I can't believe he hit that thing. Oh, I thought it was a ray for a minute. It's a red. Never mind, yeah.
It's a little baby redfish.
Cameraman's an idiot. He had some grass. That's what it was. I think he had some grass that first wrapped around. I thought it was a stingray. I was like, what the?
And he's fighting hard. I thought
Yeah.
he was ready to go.
Those things put up a fight. Yeah, cool.
Look how pretty he is.
He is a good looking fish. Nice. Pretty Baffin Bay redfish.
Oh, and he gave me a bath.
He gave you a little goodbye, splashing.
Yeah.
Nice job. Matt was throwing the jig for a while, then went and put on the top water about 5 minutes ago, and already got a couple blow-ups, and now looks like he's hooked up to a good one. Watch your hand.
I know. I don't want my hand. I got it.
He's got it. Beautiful trout, Matt. Beautiful
Woo! Look at that on top water, baby.
trout. I'm proud.
Getting it done
man.
Texas
Good
boy
job.
style with Captain Sally Black. Baffin Bay Rod Gun.
That's one of your biggest
Yeah,
topwater trout?
this is my personal best on a top water.
Nice job, Matt. Good job, Hoss. Appreciate you guys watching the show this week, and special thanks to Captain Sally down at Baffin Bay Rod Gun, Captain Bruce Ball over there in Louisiana, and Paul Brown for coming out and fishing with us. I'm Roll at Texas Boys Outdoors. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, the website. We'll see you next time.